Hi guys, this is Mitch and thank you once again for tuning in to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you all of the techniques that I have applied in my life in order for me to achieve all of my dreams. So firstly, we have to identify first or define what is a dream? What is a dream? What does it mean to dream? Um, you know, Look, the best definition I could give to you about this is a definition that was given by John Maxwell. John Maxwell is my motivational guru. A dream is a picture of yourself in the future. And what it does is it energizes your mind, your willpower, your emotions, and in fact empowers you to do everything you can to achieve it. But growing up in a family with 10 other siblings has a lot of its happy moments, but really, really challenging. It's never easy. You have very little food on the table to be shared around. So once mom says it's time to eat, you gotta be fast because if you snooze, you lose. You miss out. We didn't even have a very big house to share amongst ourselves. However, my parents are very generous people. With the very little they have, they still manage to help a lot of our poorer relatives. And, I was already a teenager then, and I could just remember that there's three of us, in fact, who are sleeping in a double bed sideways. And some of my brothers and sisters, they sleep on the floor. Yeah, yeah. So the Philippines is a country that is, always, like inundated with typhoon and floods. And you could just imagine our house is always flooded like what, at least 4 times a year. You will be surprised that as a child, dark clouds and the rain are actually a sign of a merriment for me. Because I get the chance to go out and play and then play under the rain with my brothers and sisters. And sometimes I swim in floods. Yuck, yuck, I know. And what else? I hate birthdays. I hate every time my birthday comes. As a child, I never had any party. Nah. Never experienced blowing a candle on the cake. Nah. Never received any toys. Never received any gifts. No celebration. Nothing. Nah. But I was never bitter. We grew up in a household which is full of love. I've got a mom who has looked after us and, like took care of us like a slave. And my dad's authority has actually kept us in line. Yeah. So one lazy afternoon, I was about 12 years old. I was having a conversation with my dad. I asked and I said, Dad, how do I achieve my dreams? How do I get out of here? And he said to me, that's very, very easy. That's very, very simple. Now you got a dream, you must set yourself a goal. A goal, he said. So I said, that was my first time to actually hear the word goal. What is goal? And he said to me, a goal is your map. That is your dream. You need a map in order for you to get to that dream. In my young, smart ass brain, I really wanted to ask my dad.
Well, where was your map?
I'm joking, Papang. We call him Papang. That is actually our native way of calling our dad. And anyway, all I know was I had a lot of dreams as a child. Um, you know, I wanted to see places. I see pictures, which are pictures of other countries, and they look really beautiful. And, I dream that one day I will drive my own car. One day I will build my own house. One day I will see the world. One day I will not be poor. That is how I would often picture myself, to be in as a child. Sometimes I will actually go out on the fields and just really lie down on the grass and look up to the sky, and I see some airplanes flying by, and I always thought one day I'm gonna be on that plane. I'm gonna bring a bucket with me, and I'll actually scoop some clouds and give it to my brothers and sisters. So after finishing primary school, I set myself up, you know, to a goal in high school. That means I have to focus on my studies and be one of the top students of my class consistently. I'll always think, study hard, study hard. It's my ticket out. That's how I was conditioned. I have identified the best, performing students in class. And I had to pick up their study habits. And I realized it's good not to be ordinary. It's good not to be ordinary. I made a conscious effort to learn in class and ensure that I am always one of the top students. I never aim to be number one. I hate math. And every time I see my results in math, it's so average. It's not really, I can't ace it, and it pulls my general weighted average down, but it doesn't matter. It's all right. But I wanted to double my effort and be on top of all of my homeworks. And it's very, very difficult to do advanced reading in a house that is noisy, full of kids all the time. So I asked my mom, I said, Mom, it is very, very difficult for me to study. I cannot concentrate. It's so noisy all the time with kids running and crying and carrying on. So my mom said, oh, that's not a problem. The best time for you to study is when everyone is sleeping. And it was like, when everyone is sleeping, well, then that means waking up early in the morning and tiptoe around the house. That sucks. But anyway, Mom said, well, you got no choice. If you want a very quiet, environment to study, well, that's the only way. You got to wake up early in the morning. That suggestion sucks. That means sacrificing a lot of my sleep as a young child. So you will not believe it. The whole time I was in high school, I made it a habit to wake up from 2 o'clock in the morning up to 5 o'clock in the morning. That's 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. every day. Every day. That's 3 hours every day in the wee hours of the morning just to concentrate and focus. My parents never woke me up to study. I don't even have an alarm clock. I just programmed myself to wake up. I was that determined, and no one's telling me what to do. No one's telling me when it's time to do my assignment. I just really pushed myself. As a result of all of my hard work, I became a scholar from high school all the way to uni. And finally, I graduated in college. So then does that mean I'm gonna be rich? Woo! I got my ticket out. Nope. So I'm not perfect. I have been, of course, young and reckless once. Before my career took off, I got pregnant at 21. I was very, very exhausted. I really, really stumbled and fell. I was caring for a child. I lost track of my dreams. But my heart always knew that this is not the kind of life that I pictured myself into. I just accepted defeat, and I just convinced myself that this is my fate. This is written in my hands, that I was born and I'm going to grow old and I'm going to die poor. That was, my way of coping. I just convinced myself that that is the kind of life that I was meant to have. Until I conceived my second child, and I thought, I can change this. I can give my children a better future. So I got out of that marriage to start life all over again, this time with both of my children as my inspiration to fight in life. I didn't know where to begin at first. My marriage, of course, just failed, and I didn't know where to go except to go back to my parents' house. So I took my children with me, and they had actually embraced me with, both arms. They've given me all of the love and support that I needed at that very, very weak point of my life. I got back to employment. I had focused on my career, and within a short period of time, I was promoted once again. If I will just think about my own future and, my own children, I am able to raise them single-handedly. But as a child, I made a promise to myself. I made a dream that I'm going to help my parents, to get out of poverty and assist them in any way I can to help my brothers and sisters finish uni who are also full of dreams like myself. I still have not fulfilled my dream at the time of building a house for them that's never going to be flooded. If I'm just going to rely on my income in my country, I'm never going to get to where I want to be. So I've got two beautiful aunties who live in Australia. So I did not hesitate at all to contact them and ask for their help in order for them to give me a head start, to migrate. And they were kind enough, to do everything they can to sponsor me, to finance, for my migration. Once again, I know that this is another sacrifice that I am making, because in order for me to work effectively, that means I needed to leave my children behind. And that was excruciatingly painful. I was just so blessed that I've got beautiful parents. My mom was still alive at the time, and both her and my dad had looked after my two boys. And, that was the hardest time of my life, being away from my children, in order for me to fulfill a dream. It was the biggest sacrifice. And I could not even describe the pain that I feel every day just to be away from them. So I had to convince myself that I needed to do that for their future, most especially. I had to make a way for them. I know that I can give them a better life in this country. So, I know that often in life, you have to sacrifice to achieve your dreams. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a big decision. Often I find myself in a crossroad, which way to go. And I always, make sure that whatever decision I make, I have to stand by it. So I did not waste any time. I was employed in sales as soon as I got here, and not knowing, how to do sales because I've never done it before. But it was the first good break I had. Every time I get employed, I start with a picture. I start with a vision. I always look for opportunities to grow and succeed. I always knew that I'm not going to be ordinary in this company. So I set myself up to a goal that within 2 years, I should be the best salesperson in this company. And it did happen. I was like number one consistently. So I really have a little smile on my face every time I hear people saying that I just got lucky. What they don't understand is every time I set myself up to a goal or a new goal, I always come up with plans. I always write them down and I put them into action. Isn't it amazing? Like, not everybody does that, but yes, I do. Once again, identify the best salespeople on the floor in the new company that I worked for. And I had to be under their wings. I had to humbly ask for their help. I had to be trained by them. I have to forget everything that I know in my former professional career. I was like a blank slate. The other thing as well is, every time I get asked to go to product trainings, whether it's sales techniques or new product launch or whatever that I needed to know that will contribute to my success as a salesperson, I'm there. And I always sit at the front as well. I had to take home every brochure. I had to take home every catalog. I have to study every product in order for me to be effective every time I'm showing clients what they could possibly buy. So if you're a newbie in a company and you wanted to learn, don't learn with the people who's got nothing good to say about the company. Learn from the happy people. You have to learn from the best of the best. Most successful and, confident achievers in the company, they have no insecurities. Most of them will impart their knowledge to you. They're that confident. They're not scared at all to teach you. As I started life in Australia, I used to stay at my auntie's house. But then I knew that I'm never ever going to stay there forever. Because even before I arrived here, I also set myself to a goal that a year or 2 years after I become permanent with any job that I will have, I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy a house, whatever happens. Did it happen? Yes, it did happen. And the other thing as well, while I was working here, I did not squander any money. I was very, very sensible in my hard-earned money. I made sure that I send money overseas all the time to support my children and my whole family. And one thing more, when I was ready, I said to myself, it's time. It's time to build the house. It's time to build the house that's never going to be flooded. The beauty of it all is that when it rains, it pours. And that's what happened to me. After more than 5 years, and I know it was quite long, of being away from my children, I finally got the chance to be reunited with them. Australia has been very, very good to them and granted their visa. And so now my children are here with me. What I'm trying to say is I'm in my 40s now. I'm not famous. I'm not rich because I don't know what rich means, but comfortable and certainly not poor. Just like yourself, I had been through a lot of setbacks recently. However, I have the choice to take a break. I can work now if I want to, or I could just stop and travel if I want to. I'm not bound by any employment or a 9-to-5 job. I made a conscious effort, to get to this stage of my life. So now you wanted me to answer. Where is the answer? How did you achieve your dreams, Mitchy Mitch? Look, firstly, I had identified all the factors in my life that has been bringing me discomfort. I pictured myself to get out of that discomfort. I wrote every dream that I had in my life. I developed goals and put them into action. You can't just say I wanted to buy a house when it's not time bound. When? How? What is your means to buy the house? Don't you ever hesitate to ask for help. As you go through your journey, there's going to be a lot of people in your life who's going to mentor you, who's going to guide you until you get up on your feet. Then there's the thing. There are a lot of people in this lifetime who ask for help all the time, but they don't use the help to improve their lives. Instead, they become dependent on being helped. Well, that's not what I'm talking about here. You have to be clever in using every assistance or help that you need in order for you to change your life. The next thing you have to do is parent yourself. Your parents are not going to be there forever to validate you and push you. So you have to push yourself. Be a warrior and not a whiner, okay? This is what happens. You made poor choices, you made poor decisions, and you failed. Get up again. The problem with losers is that they always find a way to blame other people for their demise. They should take responsibility for their inaction. If you are a real dreamer and you wanted to get to your goal, just keep fighting. Just keep going until you get there. There are two types of people in this world, the dreamer and the doer. There's someone who keeps on dreaming but doesn't do anything about it. There's someone who keeps on doing but doesn't have any dream. You have to do things that other people don't want to do. You have to sacrifice. The other thing is you should stop measuring yourself up against the underachievers. You should develop an equality thinking with the achievers, sometimes the overachievers. You have to measure yourself up against them as if you are like them. Once upon a time, you believed in your dreams, but you encountered you encountered obstacles, that's why you stopped. That's not the attitude. Now, the other thing as well is don't accept defeat. Don't accept defeat. Tell yourself you are able. You can stay where you are or start transforming your life. Shake away every doubt in your mind and just believe. Just believe. Don't ever be distracted by other people's failures. You just have to concentrate on your own goals. You have to fix your mind. You have to focus on your own dreams. And remember, in every field, in any situation, champions will always go through periods of pain. Losers don't. So choose. Are you a champion? I'll tell you one thing more. The truth is, I have achieved all of my dreams. I took actions in every goal that I have created. And I prayed. I prayed for all of my dreams. I believe in divine guidance. So pray always. Pray for your dreams and always check what's in your heart. You have to understand your why. Why do you want to achieve your dreams? So guys, keep dreaming, keep trying, and keep praying. I hope that in my own little way, I inspired you to achieve your dreams.